Today, we'll be talking about what your beverage says about you in the hospital. First, we'll talk about tea. These people are the most boring bunch in the hospital. They're always relaxed, a little too relaxed to an approach, if you ask me. Like, if a gunshot wound were to occur like an inch above the nipple, they would be like, oh, we don't need an X-slap. And then there's the peppermint tea users. These are the outliers of the tea world. They seem relaxed, but are bursting with energy. They just can't express their opinions. May seem normal at a glance, but are working on some crazy theory like magnetic therapy to cure electrolyte imbalances. Stay away from these people. Now we'll talk about coffee. First, in particular, black coffee. These people usually lack any emotion or empathy towards other people. They probably just let the patient roll over on the transport cart and bump them along the way. And if they drank black coffee as children, they probably didn't have any friends. But then again, if they're drinking black coffee still, they probably still don't have any friends. So now we'll talk about coffee with sugar and cream and the ratios. So if you drink like a 1-to-1 ratio of cream to sugar, then you're probably just a plain person with no aspirations. You just get the job done and get in and out. You never go above and beyond what is required. Then there's the people who have like an 8-to-1 ratio of either too much cream or too much sugar. These people are going overboard with the treatment plan. They're getting too many pandoscopies, doing too many full body imaging, are over prescribers, etc. Then comes the people who drink K-cups. These people are always in a rush and not good at planning. They're always calling what they don't do efficient. Every mistake they make allows the hospital to learn the flaws in the system. This is probably how the Swiss cheese model was developed. Now we'll talk about Death Wish coffee. It doesn't matter how it's administered, whether it's K-cup or instant, a lot of poor decisions were made for you to end up here. If black coffee users express their true emotions, they would look like these Death Wish coffee users. They're also known as the hyper pepperminters. These people get a little too excited just being in the room with the ketamine drip. You're too gone to be saved at this point. But please, for the sake of humanity, stay away from this concoction. As a healthcare provider, do not compromise your morals by promoting, drinking, or distributing this form of administration. I promise you, life gets better. If you take anything away from this presentation, only understand this slide. There's two types of people who don't drink coffee. There's the people who are saying I'm quitting, and then there's people who say I don't drink and never have had coffee. So the people who say I'm quitting follow the Adapta model. This is the same model used for depression. It stands for denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. So denial would be like, oh, coffee's not that good. I don't even want it. My body's fine. Anger would be like, oh, get me my coffee. I need it now. I can't function without it. Bargaining would be like, oh, I hope someone leaves their coffee out and they need me to drink it. Or, oh, that's the last one. I should probably finish it off because no one else is taking it. Depression would be like, oh, there's no coffee. What's the point? I don't see a point of continuing to work anymore. And acceptance would be like, oh yeah, we're all human. We need coffee. I'm going to start drinking coffee. And then there's also the addiction model, which includes pre-contemplation, contemplation, action, and maintenance. Pre-contemplation is you're just drinking coffee, you don't care. Contemplation would be like, oh, I'm drinking too much, I should probably stop. Action would be like, oh, you start hanging out with friends who don't drink coffee, you're exercising, living a good life. And then maintenance, you just continue to hang out with these people and don't drink coffee. And relapse would be like, oh, I got to get back to the hospital, I need the energy to get through. These problems are much more common in coffee users than in tea users. And the treatment is to do nothing for 6 months, and usually it self-resolves. And if symptoms continue, you can do electroconvulsive therapy. The reason you want to differentiate these two kind of people who don't drink coffee is just due to the treatment plans. So the people who claim that they don't drink coffee are usually closeted liars in the D stage of the quitter model, or there are people who just don't get anything done and always need to be covered by other people in the hospital. Treatment for these people is either peer pressure, and you should only interact with them in the coffee lounge. If that doesn't work after 2 months, just spike their smoothies with this concoction right here. Remember, a manic Matt is always better than a lazy Larry. And you're probably wondering why I haven't talked about caffeine pills. Caffeine pills are for wimps. Caffeine pills have been shown to be ineffective due to their low potency and are not recommended to be taken separately or in conjunction with other supplements.